How's it going, Overwatch fans? Welcome to a week 3 of Season 10. We're currently casting a game between Bambi Brigade and That's Crazy, having a little bit of technical difficulties. But either way, I'm joined here by Corbec, as he casted with me yesterday. How's it going, man?
Good, glad to be here. Excited to watch these two teams face off.
Yeah, agreed. Both of these teams at the top of intermediate. Both the stream's finally up, but both of them vying for that first and second place spot on intermediate, as both of them are currently 2-0. One of them has to go on their first loss, basically. So we'll see who that'll have to be.
Oh, looks like they're going to run a little bit of Winston goats here for us tonight, JJ, which is not something we saw yesterday. That could have some interesting potential. It's rare that you see this kind of composition go against itself. Walrus already securing the high ground there. Bronze Bank up in the air, has to drop right back down. Elysium now trying to wrest the high ground from their competitors. Here comes Elysium dropping down onto point, has to jump back out though. These Winstons really playing around this high ground right now. Neither side super willing to commit, especially with the Brigidas on both sides so threatening to Winston. Finally, Walrus will be the first pick, and that probably will snowball into more, but even as I say that, Elysium goes down here. The fight's still continuing. Neither team really wants to give it up, but Furret, well, the only person in position to continue contesting here, and that's just more of a stagger than anything else, JJ.
Yeah, agreed. I mean, just the general tussle going on there. A good priority coming from both sides as ooh, whoopsie daisies. But That's Crazy takes the advantage, as it looks like their Zarya was just able to dish out a good amount of damage to Walrus on Monkey. Just a little bit too much on the Harry side, if you will.
Well, Keston sitting on the rally now. The majority of the defenders currently holding that high ground, not going to get off it very easily. But even as they say that, Elysium drops down and Keston moves in to help. Pops rally mid-fight here, which creates a little bit of space for Elysium, but he goes a little too far and is burned down in the midst of the enemy team. They might want that back. Now on the other side, 6 ultimates in the bank. Rally will come out from Monkus. Now Grav and a bomb on the other side, really well placed actually by Divine there to just cut the legs out from underneath this attack. There's not a lot they can do at this point in time, just try and stay in contest formation. Honestly, they might want to consider walking out, but Walrus, he wants him to go back in. He's jumped on. Transcendence coming in. They're investing a lot in this fight. Transcendence just too late for Walrus, though. They're going to fall back with that Trans Elysium on the pursuit. And I think they're going to get the opportunity to reset here, but it took them a long time.
Yeah, Bambi Brigade throwing in that Transcendence, and a little too much, honestly, considering they haven't even taken over the point. So a little bit too much of an ante there, considering they are losing so far in percentage.
Will now cut in this corridor here, 70% on the clock, trying to create some space. Good grab on the wall is the follow-up there, though. Bomb comes out, Transcendence in as well, and they will get 2 picks off the back of that, and that might be what they need to finally break the gridlock here. Good dive from Walrus into the backline. Bronze rank severely pressured, will back up and just give a little bit of room. Won't be enough, though. He will go down. Here comes the Diva Bomb again. They'll force him inside. Not enough. They have to take care of this Zarya, and they will, but at 91%, oh, that's a lot of percentage.
Agreed. And I mean, look at what they use for the defense. Literally only Rally and a Diva Bomb. They've got everything else coming up, as Bambi Brigade had to use a good amount for their aggression. So it's going to be a hairy fight coming up.
Well, already the high ground secured here by Bambi Brigade. They're looking to drop down. Cautious approach by That's Crazy. Don't quite want to give away all their cards at once. Luke Lama dropping onto the point. Elysium already here. Walrus drops down to contest. Diva with him. Drops back out again. Grav was eaten. Tracer one trick didn't quite get it off. That's unfortunate. Elysium under a lot of pressure will drop down. He's finally brought down, and that might signal an end to the attack. They've got the time, JJ, so they will back off here by the looks of it.
Man, but that's exactly what they needed. Graviton would have changed that game completely, and it was eaten up immediately by Justin Spark. I don't know if it was just pure luck or he saw that coming, but it saved them an extra fight.
It did indeed, and as we see here, it's forced a full reset now Ultimate advantage severely in, well, not severely, but definitely in favor of Bambi Brigade going into this fight as well. Different attack route now, though, for That's Crazy. They're coming up and underneath, trying to contest this high ground control. Elysium looking for a good opportunity to go forward. Here they come en masse. That'll pop a rally from Kessin as well, just to help them keep them up on the high ground. They're really fighting it out here. Vespaz back down, drops onto point to just get away from all that damage. High ground now in control of That's Deadly. Now they need to pick a target and act on it, but they can't quite seem to find someone that they want to go after. Grav comes out, bomb thrown in right after it. There's no shield for that. That's 2 picks there, and they now passed 85% on the defense. Diva Bomb unleashed point blank will clear the team off, but no real need. Oh no, Transcendence coming out as well. They might have mistimed that. I don't know. They're going to want that one back as Kessin even now trying to brawl on the point, but the clock just ticking up, and there's no one here to contest. No, even as I say that, Nuke Llama drops onto the point just to keep it alive, force the overtime. Lucio uses Sound Barrier to keep himself alive. How long can he hold on? Will he buy enough time for the rest of the team? No, he won't, because Walrus doing such a good job of contesting at the gate won't let anyone back in.
Yeah, and a very huge arc as Elysium jumps with Monkey trying to get in there, but it's just not enough. That was a difficult thing to watch. There was a lot of tools That's Crazy could have used in that fight, especially the moment that Graviton popped out. Not really anything stopping them, but I think it was just some form of miscommunication. Either way, moving on to the next map, these guys have their warm-up rounds, and it's clear that both of them can reach that high amount of percentage. They can tussle against each other, if you will, for that point.
Yeah, it was really kind of a rough turnaround there for That's Crazy, if we're honest, and a great play by Bambi Brigade really to hold on to it. Might want that Transcendence back still, though. I don't know.
Mm-hmm.
Looks like they're both going in on Rhine now. They've dropped the idea of the Winston as they're brawling it out here in the library on Oasis. Already moving on to point is Bambi Brigade, but Elysium there to meet them. Oh no, Walrus dropped down the middle. That's not good. It's free time now if they want to push in, and Elysium will come forward swinging the hammer. Vespavac down first. They're trying to go for the rest of them now as well. They'll push him right back into spawn. Somewhere behind them is the Reinhardt still. He's getting pressured back there, and he will be dropped down. So unfortunate movement by Walrus. Turned that around for them, JJ.
Yeah, agreed. I mean, just losing your Reinhardt, he might as well have been dead for that whole portion of that fight, because without him, there's all that damage is going straight into his team.
I'm not really even sure how he dropped into the hole, if I'm being honest.
Yeah, there was no Lucio Boops, no anything. Missteps.
Missteps indeed. Ooh, hammer down comes out. Nothing really to follow up on it, but they do get Walrus again early on in the fight. That's a pick you cannot afford at this stage. Just in part taken out of mech almost immediately, and here comes the rest of That's Crazy. Just trying to push them back up the choke. No, now the tide's starting to turn all of a sudden. Not really sure how. Nuke Llama goes down. There's a bit of a break. Elysium trying to turn it back. The Transcendence coming out from bronze rank here just to keep the team up and fighting. Walrus playing this wall, wants to push forward, but a little hesitant right now. Grab comes out. That's a good grab there. Bomb over the top. Transcendence will not save them. Oh no, the bomb is just a little bit too high. It's not enough to do the damage they need. Now Walrus pushing forward with the Shatter. Gets Divine, but they can't follow up on it. Bronze rank finally goes down. Counter Shatter out. Gets no one. The fight really just brawling out, sort of classic goat scramble all over the point. And finally, the kill feed starting to turn in favor of the Bambi Brigade as they push forward and onwards.
Yeah, but both sides are getting kills is right now in the back. Well, yeah, no, I mean, it's clearly an advantage right now of Bambi Brigade, but it was just, as you said, just a scramble as all people were getting their duo partners 2 and 2 fighting each other. Interesting thing to watch, but that being said, 72% going for That's Crazy. They got a good amount going into this. Both of them wasted a good amount of ultimates. They're going to have to start generating stuff to go through.
Well, they're wasting no time using the Sound Barrier to engage. Here comes Elysium with the speed boost as well, rushing straight onto Walrus, and he will go down. Sound Barrier coming out just a little too late. Rally unleashed as well, but it's a good Diva Bomb right into the middle of everything. Oh, gets no one, though. Elysian gets the shield up in time, but Elysian's down the hole. That's not good. Here's an opportunity for Bambi Brigade to really push forward and try and secure this point. Kason, though, immediately back on. That's the Transcendence coming out of bronze rank as well. They're going to use this to push back on. The point was flipped in the midst of all that, and Tracer one trick just beaming everybody down.
Yeah, not fast enough. That's crazy. Losing 2 members of their team, but Bambi Brigade not able to get on top of it. They're going to try to touch this point. 98% they hit it. Earthshatter going down. A double Earthshatter going straight through his ward.
Shatter on the back side. Now Elysium gets knocked off the map. Grav coming out now. They really have to get presence in here, but they can't. Too good of a job by That's Crazy to just close it down. Diva Bomb will clear the point as well, and it's over. Wow. Crazy end there, JJ.
Yeah, that's crazy. That's crazy, if you will. Yeah, wow. Like, it honestly looked very one-sided. Both of these teams are able to keep consistent contention, and honestly, it's something that we see at a COF all the time. Whoever has the highest percentage going into it from the beginning tends to have an advantage overall, just because if they're able to take over the point against the defending team, it's almost guaranteed to win, and that's basically the scenario we saw there.
Yeah, I agree 100%. I mean, you really got the feeling right. Both these teams just duking it out. In the end, though, was that because That's Crazy was kind of just getting the advantage. But now we have a Winston Goats going into a Rhine Goats. So a bit of an interesting matchup. And a Moira switching out for a Zenyatta as well on top of everything. Looks like they're looking for the opportunity maybe to just put a lot of pressure on. Walrus gonna ride heavily here as they're already engaging on the high ground. Good split by the Winston. He got the Brigida. Kessin drops off the side. Oh, Walrus nearly follows her over into the abyss, but he comes back up. He's got another one with the boops. Walrus doing a masterful job of using the rocket pack to just get up there and cause absolute havoc on that high ground. Has broken the back of the attack before it could even start.
Yeah, not something you're completely used to, but I was seeing jumps in there, and that just additional velocity, if you will, going into the air was booping them right off that edge.
Really well played, actually, by Walrus. That is not something you usually see, but masterful use of the environment, JJ, to get those kills.
And he got a lot of damage going through. He's already got his ult up, and the rest of Bambi Brigade is coming along with him.
Well, proving that you can try something twice, even if it didn't work the first time. Oh, it's another big boop! Oh, but they'll save themselves before going down that time. Now an Angry Monkey running around the point here, just trying to corral That's Crazy. You can tell that Walrus wants more environmental kills, but he's in a dangerous spot right now. The Zarya bubble will come out to protect him. Meanwhile, Pavak up on the high ground, just pumping in the damage, and here comes That's Crazy again. Shatter comes in, but Reinhardt goes off the edge. These environmental kills are absolutely destroying That's Crazy right now, but they're following it up. Gold Gruden going down. Bronze Rank getting in on the action as well, and they might just have turned it around there despite these massive environmental picks that are happening at the beginning of all these fights. Kessin actually just cleared the point, JJ. Well done on the Brigida.
Yeah, that Earthshatter was able to get not only the Zarya, but as well as the Zen. Two people that are very necessary to just be dealing massive amount of damage. Without them, it was basically just a bunch of chunky HP to hold the point for a little bit more percentage. 55%, and That's Crazy's catching up.
I mean, it's not a bad number by any stretch of the means, but probably they want just a little bit more. Walrus now switching off of the Winston coming over, but Nuke Llama going down early to Gold Gruden. That's a bit of a problem. Reinhardt dropping down into the pit now. Elysium trying to contest is under a lot of pressure. There's a Diva Bomb in the midst of everything as well. It will get one. It takes the Zenyatta out. Big pick there as the grab comes in. There's no Transcendence or any protection really, but the rally is up now. Counter Transcendence coming out, Sound Barrier coming out as well. All the ultimates getting popped right here. Grab Bomb in over the top. Gets one with the D-Mech or the Remech as well. Why not? And Divine is burned down, and they'll flip the point back again. So Bambi Brigade taking their real estate back right there.
Yeah, and that's a big loss for That's Crazy there. They not only use Transcendence and Sound Barrier at the same time, but I think Diva Bomb as well. That's just so many ultimates to lose in, well, essentially a losing battle. They did get an extra little bit of percentage, but they got to be careful going forward.
Well, here's their time to shine. They're going for this high area again. You can already see Furret in position to try and get an environmental kill. He's dropping down the boop. Ineffective, though. They'll actually roll right over the top here, but they really have to commit. They can't wait up here much longer. That percentage just ticking up this entire time. Not sure what they're delaying for. That's Crazy, maybe looking for a pick. Finally, it's Divine who drops down into the pit. Elysium waiting for the opportunity to drop down. Comes in the Shatter. Huge Shatter on the backside. And here comes the rest of the team to follow it in, but Transcendence coming out from and Gold Gruden will keep his teammates alive through most of this damage. The counter transcendence out now, though, just to help. That's crazy. Push around on the point. They need to get some critical picks here, though. The rally is out from Kesson, just boosting the team through all of this. Walrus finally going down. Now, can they follow up and get the rest of the kills? Ferret will unleash the barrier to just keep them in this fight. They will keep going here. It's an absolute brawl on the point. It's a must-win situation for That's Crazy. As the Diva Bomb is dropped, it clears no one, but it gives Elysium a lot of space to work with. They'll get some kills on the backside. Now comes the sound barrier, trying to help them close this out. Elysium diving across, looking for a pick, but Ferret, he's still here. Now a grab coming out. Walrus swinging into it with Monkus on the team, and they got 3 picks. That might be enough for them to clear this. Bambi Brigade fighting it out, goes for the solo shatter on the Zarya, won't find it, but they barely need it. Only one person left to contest, and it's the Moira, and she won't last long, and Bambi Brigade takes the map.
Man, that's a hard one, but That's Crazy. That was just a beautiful Earth Shatter. That wait, we were wondering, what was it? And the Earth Shatter just came completely out of nowhere, like RKO, out of nowhere, as it takes out the whole team, but the Transcendence saved them. And then it was an all-out brawl after that.
Well, they didn't get... Oh, this is brilliant, to be honest. This is some great Winston play there. Oh my god. You don't see it very often. You just don't see that kind of environmental play coming out of a Winston. That's just fascinating stuff. But yeah, the critical thing was they didn't get Gold Gruden. They did not get the Zenyatta, and he just popped the Transcendence. So great play on him for kind of seeing, I think, probably what was coming. They waited maybe just a little bit too long up there on that high ground, JJ. And the wheels might have started turning on behalf of Bambi Brigade as to what they could expect coming off of that high ground. Great effort, though, all around by both teams. Really close play, actually, compared to some of the other stuff we've seen so far in Week 3.
Yeah. I mean, the wheels are clearly turning in these teams' heads as they're trying to come up with different strategies. Either way, they're going to have to go into 2CP next, as we're going to be going into Paris. And that being said, I think That's Crazy currently has a sub right now. They're currently out one player, so it's interesting to see that, what they're able to pull out right now, essentially down a player, really.
Yeah, indeed. I mean, it always is a little bit hard too, right? When you're missing your starters, when you have to put in substitutions, it's not the best situation. Going into Paris, I don't know. We might see those same GOATS compositions again. I think out of all the matches we've seen so far in Week 3, JJ, Paris has seemed to lend itself the most sort of versatility in terms of comps. A lot of variety would probably be a better word. We've seen quad DPS. I think we saw Bunker. We've seen triple DPS being run at various points in time here so far. So it's, a map very much in flux in terms of strategy. Just watching that Reinhardt playback again, so well executed from both sides there in that final fight. Walrus really with the good reactions too, to do exactly what they needed him to do in the midst of that slugfest that was going on.
Mm-hmm.
Paris. Such a pretty map too, JJ. I like it. I like it just visually. It's great, but it's kind of a pain to play.
I agreed. There's just just the general environment in itself is not only used for just general beauty, but as well as just beautiful tactical prowess. It's a harsh thing to go over. You might as well make a mountain map with a bunch of random, obstacles and stuff like that, and you would have a very similar type of situation.
It's true. I mean, it's some tight area. It's a weird mixture of very tight spaces and then kind of quite wide open spaces. I mean, when you look at capture point number 1, it's just so open with that huge environmental kill zone on the backside. Really has to be played very cautiously. But here, as we were saying about these sort of differentiations in comp, JJ, looks like we are going to see quad DPS coming out from one side and then on the other side of Bunker. So a real sort of interesting mix-up here. Do you think they stick with this Bunker this quad DPS when they see this Bunker holding position?
We tend to see it. We tend to see a lot of people staying on to it, and I don't blame them, just because considering it's what they're trying to go for is mostly that ult potential, that just immediate impact that generating those ults creates. So I don't blame them for holding on to it, but if it doesn't work, it doesn't work. They got to think of something.
Well, the two Pharahs already dueling in the sky here. Meanwhile, Elysium is backline. Bronze rank there as well, so some infiltrators through into the back, but Tracer one trick goes down. I think looking maybe just scouting those sightlines, gets caught out by Pavak on that Bastion. Really nothing they can do there. Nuke Llama will get the res in. Now you're just kind of waiting for the action to start here because you know what's coming, and there it is. Elysium knocks the Orisa out of position. Cannot follow up the kill though. Great job coming in on top of it. Bronze rank caught in the back, and iDivine as well, so all those infiltrators just immediately burned out there. No luck for any of them.
No, it's like it's basically war at this point. They're trying to get through just this one death trap, trying to see what they can do, and their team is not made for being able to just tank the amount of damage that's currently coming through here. They gotta look for the impact, and right now already half of that's crazy is on the opposite side.
Well, Elysium is through the backside. Again, bronze rank in the back line as well. There comes iDivine on the trade, so all of them setting up. Elysium comes in with the tries to get a little damage. Follow-up is not there, and again Elysium dies in the same place they died last time. Bronze rank quickly following them into the grave, and this bunker with Vespavac just holding strong here. They really don't want to give it up. Now Tracer's using our Widowmaker, wrong character, using the infrasites here, maybe just give them a little bit of information. Now they're rolling back around on the backside. Elysium again in position to cause some havoc, finally clearing a little bit of space for Kesslin on this pharmacy, which is, or Kesslin's pharmacy has been so quiet too. Bronze rank just trying to farm up the ult charge on that EMP. They are sitting on a number of ults, but so is the opposing team. There comes Elysium again with the knock. Now, will they be able to follow it up this time? They might actually. It was a lot better timed. Walrus goes down. They might try and go for the res, but I don't think they can. Tank ultimate coming out from Vespavac. Picks off iDivine, but they're still fighting here. Good EMP on the backside by Bronze rank. Kessin drops in. Tracer one trick is there as well. Kessin will die here, but it might be enough for them to break this open. Furret holding on to the point. They need to press. There's not enough movement from That's Crazy to take advantage of the huge picks they just got. Finally, Furret goes down, and Tracer one trick gets the other pick, and they will take this first point.
Yeah, slow and steady won that race, and it was a little disheartening because you saw that Tracer Bomb go on the Bastion. Nothing happened because the Batiste is, of course, a big counter to that, but the ults just slowly went as if they were just staggering them as they came along, and it worked in their favor.
Now the switch over to Goats here. JJ makes a lot of sense. Meanwhile, on the other side, a little delayed swap to Goats, but they will come in as well. So classic brawl though. Furret sticking on that Ana there, which is oh, never mind. Oh, I was hoping to see a little bit of variation, but it didn't work out. We got another first point, I guess. Can't be too greedy, right?
Yeah, agreed. I mean, we already, we did see it. I think it's also too much to ask, but as well, like, it's an interesting thing to see. It diverts from what we're normally used to, but honestly, we kind of know what's coming. Either way, That's Crazy needs to generate something. Look at their ultimates, all practically below 10%. They got to generate something.
Well, That's Crazy going for the long roundabout here. I thought they were going to try and back there for a second, but they don't. They don't want to use that tactical advantage. Meanwhile, Bambi Brigade rotates to point. They know where they want to fight this, somewhere where Justin Park can really make good use of that Diva Bomb. But a really delayed engagement here. Finally, Elysium drops into the pit with the rest of the team coming in behind him. There's the Diva Bomb, almost as if on cue, but it's poorly placed. No real luck to be had out of that. Meanwhile, Bronze rank with a lot of opportunity to put in the pressure, but it's Nuke Llama who goes down first. Elysium following there soon after. Kessun, the lone frontliner, gets burned down as well. Bronze rank throws himself into the middle of the enemy team. Oh no, it's all over there, and Bambi Brigade will hold on.
Yeah, beautiful defensive qualities. I mean, when it came to that charge from Elysium, it was immediately stopped by Monk on the Brigade, and it just got dived upon immediately after, as if they already knew what was to come. These guys are playing reactionary. They're getting ready. Both sides are already kind of coming in, seeing what strategies they're going to have to pull as their ultimates are starting to come in.
Here comes the attack up the left side for the defenders. In comes That's Crazy, looking to set up a play. Nuke Llama over gets no one. Meanwhile, Furret in a better position maybe to set something up here. The two teams both rotating towards the point again. Now the ultimates start to come out. Monka's unleashing the rally, but it's a good shatter on the other side. They'll force the Transcendence out. Grab coming in almost immediately. Sound Barrier was used as well. So no kills will be coming in. Both teams taking full advantage of that sustain. Counter grab comes out. Transcendence in. Diva Bomb over the top. Oh, it's really well placed. Divine gets 3. They'll actually use the sound barrier on the back end of that as well, just to try and secure this point. I don't know if they needed to, but Walrus is pinned and pushed right back out, and they're holding on here in desperate stall time. Somebody has to touch. They can't touch, JJ. It's over. They take it.
Wow. Like, I mean, we keep seeing it. I mean, they've been doing it so far in Paris. It's just nice, slow, steady, let things come as they may, and they're coming at perfect times for them.
They're really waiting for those opportunities, and you can tell that they kind of use combo, but Divine really placed that perfectly. It was a perfectly positioned airburst Diva Bomb, exactly what they needed.
Mm-hmm. Like it's just the slightest amount of perfect things popping out in order to work in their favor. Essentially, that I mean, Bambi Brigade, they were. It looked like a stalwart defense. I mean, we saw it going into that first phase, but it can completely be negated if too many resources are put aside. You name it, whether it's Zarya barriers or Brigitte shields or Reinhardt shields, and everything just worked perfectly for that's crazy there.
Yeah, it was. I mean, it was well executed defense. If we're being honest, right? I think that we could both agree on that. The problem was that when Walrus went down, it was just bad time.
Mm-hmm.
Opportunity with Divine's Diva Bomb, and with Walrus no shield, all you've got is a Zarya bubble. Maybe just nothing you can do about it.
Agreed.
Always feel bad for the Transing Zen in that situation too. You know, they're trying to protect their team, but they just can't.
And a tear slowly flows down their eye.
I know. It's one of those things too when you start moving up, you know, when you're down playing in like silver and you always see the Zenyatta pops Transcendence whenever the Diva Bomb comes flying in, and you're like, no, buddy, I know you want to help, but you can't.
Yeah, well, now we're seeing that's crazy, going for just a general bunker, but when it comes to Bambi Brigade, it looks like they're going for a partial dive for it on the Ana.
Vespa already in the back line here on the Sombra might actually drop up to touch the point and just cause a little bit of havoc. Sure enough, trying to pull some defenders off. That will get Divine back into the line. They're going to use this opportunity to under the Bastion, but they'll lose Justin's part. Unfortunately, not that well executed. Unfortunately, they can kind of just walk up to the edge and fire down here, JJ. That's exactly what they got to do, and it's fish in a barrel. That's crazy right there.
Yeah, Kassoon just taking full advantage. There's no shields. Go straight for the grabs, and it just so happened he grabbed the Ana right now. Vespa, honestly, playing it a little smart. I mean, he can get out of there very simply. Why waste like the surprise of him having to walk up to the enemies when they'll walk up to him and he can just get all charge as they walk towards him?
Well, here they come again. So they're already looking for Vespa in the back line right now. Vespa on point will probably pop out. Oh no, Walrus goes down. Good hook by Kesset on the low ground. Vespa of invisibility for half a second there, but now JJ, we can see something critical on the board. Vespa sitting on the EMP.
Mm-hmm. And it was generated, honestly, much faster than I think That's Crazy did going on their run. They're going to have that coming into them, but they got to be careful. They can't stagger as they have been losing one person at a time.
Vespa caught, nearly hooked there in the back line. More and more resources being devoted to combating the Sombra in the back. What are they waiting for here? Here comes push up the front. Vespa is sitting on that EMP. Monka's now dropping in on the side as the Genji, again, the Walrus and Furret just burned down. There's no room to hide underneath that Bastion. The rest of the team in a lot of danger as well. There goes Monka's. Maybe, are they just trying to force out ults? Oh no, Justin caught at the last second.
I am wondering that as well, because now we're seeing that we've got also Genji Blade and Nano Boost. So it's a pretty heavy set of combos we have here now. Maybe they don't think EMP would have worked on its own.
Well, take a look at That's Crazy though, JJ. 6 ultimates on the board.
And I mean, naturally, they've been getting the kills. They've been getting the yeah. I mean, that's it. They've been getting the kills for all these matchups. So it's natural. They just got to be careful though. They can't be EMP'd, or all of that's not going to be able to be used.
Well, Vespa has to hit the biggest EMP of their gaming career right here if they want to help their team push through. There it is. It's huge. It is good. There's not really a lot they can do. Counter Diva Bomb on the backside. We'll get 2, though. iDivine saving the team again, but is it enough? It might not be. They're still getting the kills. Justin Part's helping clean up Kesu now with the whole hog, just fighting it out. Monkus and Walrus on point as iDivine drops in to contest and fight. So still the Roadhog and the Diva alive and kicking on point. Justin Part gets the remech now, and they're kind of forced back here for a second. They have to keep fighting. The rest of the team slowly trickling back in. What are they backing off for? Oh no, they're regrouping. The aggression just not there. Good anti on Divine will pop the mech, but now Tracer One Trick is back in tank mode to cause a little bit of havoc. Justin Part doing a good job of forcing the Bastion back, but there will be a contest here from That's Crazy to try and keep this alive. Immortality Field out to set One Trick up. Bastion not able to do enough damage, though Furret will go down. Kesson on this Roadhog still alive on point, gets 2, and that might be enough to clear a Genji Blade in a closed, not enough to burn through the amount of damage that was left. It's just, Gold Gruden goes down as well, and that might signal the end of it unless Vespa back can touch, and they cannot. So That's Crazy takes Paris.
Yeah, we're finally going to be able to see these maps moving up. We're going to finally go into a third map. Yeah, in one of these games. As unfortunate for Bambi Brigade, they put too much resources on that combo they were going for.
Oh, that's good Diva Bomb, though, over the top again. iDivine with those Diva Bombs doing such a good job. Actually kind of saved their bacon, too, there at the end, I would say, JJ. P came in because it was really well done to hit Furret and take them out of the action early on. I don't know. I feel like what cost them was that hesitation to aggress when it was just the Diva and the Roadhog. Like, well played by both Kesson and Divine, I would say, JJ, to hold on back there on the point. But 2 big, bulky bodies, it's not the ones you want to try and shift.
Yeah, it was a very big wow moment because everything going up to that point was very unsettling. It felt like there was just too much waiting going on. At least 2 to 3 fights could have gone on where there was just kind of almost pauses, and all that effort was put into that, and it worked. It essentially worked, but then 2 tanks were alive, and not enough was aggression or damage was put onto them. And as you said, we saw it was like a 5v2 at that point, and nothing. They were moving just too slow, considering the situation.
It's interesting to note, too, that That's Crazy also decided to fight that one back. They had enough sort of faith in iDivine and Kesson's ability point that they were able to rally the rest of the team. I think a lot of teams in that situation would have made the decision to just abandon that point, fall back to the second point defense, but some real fighting stuff from That's Crazy. They did not want to give that up.
I completely agree on that. I mean, when you've got 2 tanks alone in the front line and they've got to last against the entire enemy team, that is a worst case scenario, because all that chunky HP is just going to give them all that charge that they just gave up to win the previous fights. So yeah, I agree with you. They most teams would have probably just jumped into the lake right at that point.
Not this team, though. They're fighters. That's Crazy. Doesn't want to give up here. So we get set to go into Hollywood. Always an interesting map, Hollywood. One of the originals, too.
Yeah, and we get to see a combination of both the kind of like the play styles that we're used to. One, a new play style, and another one is taking over the point at the beginning and then trying to get that payload as far as physically possible.
It's the hybrid maps. You can also tell it's a fake LA because there's tons of parking. No homeless people. No homeless people. Tons of parking. You never walk through downtown LA. Let me tell you, folks, you never walk through downtown LA and see that much parking available on any given street. I don't care what's going on. It's impossible. It's ridiculous. Also, the cars are floating. I only ever noticed that after I'd been playing Overwatch for like a year.
It's the future, man.
It's the future, right? Yeah, no, it's pretty cool. I can't wait until I get my floating. Taking a look here, so a bunker on one side and what I'm assuming is going to be a Zen Goats on the other. I don't think Tracer One Trick is going to stay with the attack Torbjorn. As entertaining as that might be for us, JJ, I don't think we're going to see that.
Give me a moment, just trying to get Overwatch to show itself.
Where is Overwatch these days? It's a question a lot of people ask, actually, if to be honest. We'll see now what the bunker can do against this attacking composition. Sort of a more common matchup we see these days. The sort of dueling ideas for what a meta should be. Monka's on this Ashe actually out, just trying to get a little bit of early poke damage, build up that Bob already at 35%, which really isn't that bad, all things considered. Furt with the pocket too, giving him a little bit of extra damage. Now Justin Part will move up to the high ground as well. Looks like a little bit of consultation going on here, JJ, amongst the members of That's Crazy. Maybe trying to figure out how they want to go about this.
Yeah, Bronze Rank switching to the Moira. They feel like that could be the key difference they need to go against that Bastion, maybe.
Well, they rotate right round, so they'll cut off a goodly amount of that Bastion sidelines. Now they're going to wait here just for a second, I think. So some real chicanery coming out of the folks from That's Crazy. And here they come again. Elysium in the front line, straight underneath the Bastion. That's where they want to be. Somewhere where it's a lot harder for Vespa to get in good damage. Holding up on this side, but Elysium getting a little bit separated. Vespa drops down. Do they have the opportunity to push on him? Walrus rotating around, protecting the Bastion. But Vespa pumping damage into the enemy team will not give them any room to maneuver. Nuke Llama in the back line trying to contest with the Bastion. No real luck there at all. Bob was used too, so they'll just really clean it up. Oh, there's the gong.
Agreed. If it wasn't for that mini grab from Walrus, it would have been an interesting play from That's Crazy. Because now I'm seeing what they were doing. When they were moving slow, I think they were going for that shield regen, so they could have the majority of the defense going into that. Just a very strong front line, keeping their squishy back line alive. And I think they're going to keep doing that going forward. That mini grab was a surprise to them as it threw them back into that Bastion's damage. But watch, so far they've been using these walls to their advantage. And well, now they've got ultimate, so we'll see what they can do.
Well, Kessin baits out the grab right there, the rally mat as well. They'll move up under. Well played. The tank ultimate dropping down, amplification matrix in as well. That's a scary proposition if ever there was one. Now Elysium drops down, but it's a little too late to protect Nuke Llama. Vespa going off on a tear, gets Divine and Nuke Llama. Oh no, it's all over with the Bob in as well. And Bambi Brigade will just clear that point.
Yeah, a combination of the Batiste ult and just that tank form, it just obliterated. That's Crazy, and they did dedicate a good amount of ultimate to that. Right now we're seeing a switch. Browsbank switching from Moira to Ana.
Yeah, it was a good amount of ultimates were sent into that fight, which is if a dry put gotten a little bit more value out of it. Now, Walrus and Just Parts, they have their ultimates up as well versus basically nothing. Tracer One Trick, the only person in position, maybe coming up on that grab.
Some power going down. All they got to do is wait, but that's zoning, essentially. This could be a fight that they could go for. Now they only got a minute. 2 fights, essentially. A very harsh or short...
Oh, no! Oh, no!
That feels bad, man, right there.
Nuke Llama was going up for the scout there on the high ground, got caught on the wrong side of the roof. Vespa wasn't going to hesitate on that. That was basically just, skeet shooting for the Bastion there. But here they come in again. They're taking it slow. Elysium's trying to drop in underneath a big rotate here. Do they have time for this? They're going around the outside. Good dynamite in there as well to cause damage. They know exactly where they want to go, up to the high ground. Already predicted, though, is the rotation from the team. But they rotate a little bit too far. They're actually giving them a ton of room. Now That's Crazy looking to go. Bob comes in for the contest. Tracer One Trick goes down early on here, so bad news for Elysium all around. The Graviton not there from the Zarya. Somebody has to drop in. Nuke Llama goes on the side. Here comes the Diva Bomb. It's interestingly placed. Vespa cleaning up some kills. Amplification Matrix comes down. Diva Bomb on the other side. Gets one. It's just Elysium holding on with a little bit of help from the Moira will go down as well. Here comes Tracer One Trick. Sound barrier in from Nuke Llama, who will keep it alive for just half a second longer, but out comes the tank ultimate to just clear the deck. The only person who can touch is Divine on the Diva, and they will not get there in time. Oh, and Elysium just no luck. So a full hold by Bambi Brigade on the defense.
What a turnaround. I mean, we just literally saw a full hold coming up from That's Crazy. Now a full hold from Bambi Brigade. And this, honestly, I would be freaked out if I was That's Crazy. Because now they've got to hold and trust themselves for holding not even all of point A. I think it's one Chevron, correct?
Yeah, I think it is just the one tick here, because they really get anything. So, yeah, time on the full joke there. 0%. Oof. You hate to see it.
Hmm. Agreed. I don't envy them, and I think one of the biggest things that I felt like we weren't seeing is kind of like a Sombra EMP coming out there, because so far that's just the biggest counter to Batiste. And I think Batiste was a big player coming into that in that game, just keeping that Bastion alive. There's no amount of healing that could keep that Bastion alive, but Batiste doesn't need to heal. He just has that his E essentially.
Yeah, he throws out the Immortality Field, and the Bastion gets free reign for a while. At least it takes the team to counter it out. Now, sort of an interesting combo here. Kessin actually coming out on the Doom to back up what is essentially a Goats lineup, and Ana in there as well. On the other side, also a Doomfist, but I think maybe we might be seeing a switch off of that. I'm not sure they're going to stick with the Lucio Brigade heal lineup, but certainly seen stranger things. No, Gold Gruden switching out now as well. So they will go in 3 healers, and okay, so 2 tanks, 1 DPS, just Cyber Goats, the classic. And yeah, sure enough, JJ, you're right, just 1 Chevron, that's all they need.
Mm-hmm. And then we're seeing Vespa going on the Sombra, but they got to be careful. If it's anything like we saw in Paris, they don't want to go too slow going into this. They lost so much time bank in Paris that's honestly what was their downfall. So I imagine a lot more aggressive plays might come out for them.
Well, Vespa actually goes back to the Zarya here, but the temptation is there to play the super aggressive on this Goats. And sure enough, that's what they're going to try and do, but Doomfist in the backline with an anti-nade. Ooh, that was well played. Walrus and both go down. Kessin, the only victim for the defense, and that's one they can afford to give up, because Doomfist, he'll get back there pretty darn quick. And that'll forge the reset.
Yeah, beautiful start. I mean, the nade was off to the side. That Ana was hiding the entire time, not showing herself. They know she's there now. They probably won't make the same mistake, but that Doomfist definitely is going to be a surprise they're going to be looking out for.
Good Fire Strike in across the top. Bronze Strike really not that threatened. Only the Zen can put in the positioning. Here comes the Doomfist. Good anti-nade again. Can they follow it up? Walrus in so much danger. Will survive the anti-nade. No, he gets knocked off by Kessin. They'll drive him back out the door. Monkus goes down as well. And again, they break the attack with the exact same combo, JJ.
Yeah, it's something I don't think I've seen abused. The corners are just so small that even when Reinhardt's holding his shield, he gets punched by a full Doomfist. He hits the wall, and he couldn't heal literally anything, so he just died immediately.
He like clipped off the car or something. It was super weird, but here they come again, pushing forward. Doomfist goes in, grab out this time, Meteor Strike over the top onto it. Walrus, the intended victim, will survive. Now Kessin goes down. That's a bit of a problem. They didn't get the combo. It's a good shatter. That's the follow-up Bambi Brigade needs. They're coming in hard. There's a counter shatter going out and a good anti-nade as well, but there's no follow-up on it. The kill feed turning solid blue here as here comes Bambi Brigade over the top with the jumping Ana. No luck there. And it's anything but cute in the end for Bambi Brigade to secure the win.
Yeah, I mean, what a stalwart hold. I almost felt like there was a moment that's crazy could have come back, but Bambi Brigade just unerring in just stopping that aggression that they just, once the Doomfist was gone, that damage is out of the way, and they just need to take full advantage of that, and they did.
Huge everything right there. What a great tank. Vespa as well. With a good boss as well. 9 kills. They thinking of kills, is it?
What a change. I mean, coming into Paris, I was a little afraid for Bambi Brigade. It almost felt like maybe they were trying new stuff. I can only assume.
Yeah, certainly not perhaps the way we thought that we were going to see this go, but certainly Bambi Brigade proved themselves last 2 maps with some really convincing. They might have given up a little bit of space to That's Crazy, but they never looked bad while doing it. And really a solid performance on Hollywood to just hold it until the end there.
Yeah, well, Bambi Brigade are going to be moving up 3-0 in UGC Intermediate, and That's Crazy is going to be moving to a 2-1. Bambi Brigade is going to be fighting next week in week 4 for that first to second place spot, only for now, as we're barely halfway through season 10. But congrats to Bambi Brigade, and thank you so much, Corbec, for joining me.
Yeah, no worries. My pleasure to be here.
Yeah, and to all of you guys out there, if you want to see more games, we are done for this week. Actually, no, tomorrow, Mag and Benny are going to be casting, I think, at 8:30. Check out the UGC Discord just to make sure the times should be there, but definitely check them out if you want to see more intermediate games. After that, join us next week. We'll definitely be casting then. Thank you so much for joining us, and I'll see you all next time.